You're listening to Those Dram Yinzers with your hosts, John and Zach.
Hey everyone, I'm John.
And I'm Matt again.
And welcome to the last special edition of Those Dram Yinzers, where we drink days 21 through 25 of the Pittsburgh Whiskey Friends Whiskey Advent Calendar, and then guess about it.
That's right, John. Oh, sorry. Came in real hard.
Yeah, you came. You were ready and raring to go there. For everything Those Dram Yinzer needs, be sure to visit thosedramyinzers.com. You can find our social media links, our Patreon page, the order form for our hats, and the link to Zach's favorite site, dramit.threadless.com, where you can find every other type of merchandise with the show's logo on it. And if you're interested in sponsoring the show, please send us a DM or an email at thosedramyinzers@gmail.com.
Cool.
Ready?
I'm so ready.
I'm ready.
I'm ready. I've had about 3 glasses of cider already, so I'm a little bit...
Threadbare cider, not like apple cider. Like you've had like alcoholic cider.
Alcoholic cider,
yes.
That's what I meant. That's my default cider.
Day 21. Christmas at the Pole. Alexander doesn't know much about the North Pole, but with his newly found abilities, he has to learn. Reading through everything, he discovers that the North Pole isn't the only outpost for Santa. Alex lights his pipe, puffs out a few snowflake smoke rings, and decrees, "Today and forevermore, as long as I have the power." And yes, he did do that in his best He-Man impersonation of Santa Claus. "I declare Liberty Pole an outpost of the Claus." With a wink and a touch of his nose and a sudden flash. And Jim and Ellen were not sure what they would do. The Wet Bandits took all of their stock, and while they were making more, it would be some time before it was ready. They heard that some of the stolen whiskey was starting to be returned, but had not seen anything yet. Rumble.
Let's try. You want to clean one of that? Try that again.
It says rumble.
Rumble.
"Do you feel that, Jim?" asked Ellen with concern. "What now?" she thought. "Please, no more." Oh my God, this is super long. Aaron, come on, dude. I love you. A light appeared, dimly at first, but getting brighter and brighter and brighter, until Jim and Ellen both had to turn away from it, and then darkness. Dun dun. Dun dun dun. Wait, a small ember appeared. It glowed warmly, followed by a slight intake of breath, and the ember flared. And there stood, is the Alex in a Santa suit?
This one is long.
Yeah. Ho, ho, ho.
Yep. That's what Santa says,
Yeah,
John.
Yeah. Ho, 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 Alex bellowed. "This is going to sound weird, but," and he shrugged, "would you expect anything different? I am Santa. Well, not Santa per se, but I'm imbued with Santa-y powers."
Okay. So Saint-like?
I guess.
Saint-like?
So I get this cool suit, fancy hat, and powers. Powers that let me, welcome to the Liberty Pole. It's like the North Pole, but for whiskey.
That's all right. That's pretty good.
I'm on the struggle bus today.
And that's okay, but you know what? I'm behind that because I think Santa does need outposts, around.
Oh, yeah.
If he's going around in like a single night.
And the poster is a play on Christmas with the Cranks.
There we go. Okay. Christmas with the Cranks. I'm not seeing a Danny DeVito on here, so it's not the one with Danny DeVito?
No, there was one with Danny DeVito.
There's one with Danny DeVito, and Christmas with the Cranks is obviously Tim Allen and the actress whose name I'm forgetting. But,
that's the one I know of.
But, no, I can't remember the name of this movie, but there's a movie with Danny DeVito and Ferris Bueller, Matthew Broderick, and they're like neighbors who hate each other.
That's Christmas with the Crank?
No.
It's something else then.
Danny DeVito plays the Crank, I think.
Oh.
But it's a Christmas movie. I just don't remember the name.
I got you.
Christmas with the Two Cranky Guys is maybe what that one's called.
It's not bad.
Okay.
All right. Let's see here.
Spicy. So spicy. Do you think?
On the nose?
Yeah.
I get like a crisp apple.
Okay.
That's been my new thing recently.
I mean, vanilla, but that's in like every.
Yeah, I'm not just fruity. Not like dark dried fruit, but like
a light fruit.
Mm-hmm.
But they hardly ever use anything too sweet. So maybe, yeah, like last time I was doing one of these anyway. It's like a apple or a pear or something, kind of soft, semi-sweet. Mm-hmm. So I'll put semi-sweet fruity. Did you taste it already?
Yeah.
Oh. It's spicy. What are you thinking?
I keep that crispness at the front. Mm-hmm. But that spice, it's a pepper spice.
Yeah.
And it stays. Mm-hmm. And there's a decent hug here.
Okay. There's a.
It dries my mouth. It's very dry at the end.
Dry.
But it tastes familiar.
That makes sense for you to say. I was gonna say something like that, but it maybe just, it reminds me of a rye I've had. Probably have not had this specific one. The way these
there's
things
a
go.
Specific note in there that makes me feel like I've had this before.
I'm chasing some sort of taste on the tongue. I can't figure out what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, like a dry, steady hug.
Okay.
It's
There's some vanilla aspects in there.
Some like sweetness just to
it's
cast
there.
it off.
Yeah, it kind of rounds
It out. Mm-hmm. Would you say it's okay? In terms of spice, how spicy would you say it is? I mean, I could smell it, but he's really thinking.
I'm trying to really focus in on it. Mm-hmm. It's not the spiciest thing I've had.
No.
Of this calendar. Fair.
Okay. I'm getting like a weird heat. Mm-hmm. Like it's spicy, but like a weird like you said, like dries out your mouth. Like it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go higher on the proof. I'm gonna go 120. I think with that pepper and the actual hug, probably one of the more prominent hugs that I've had this entire time.
You know what? You said vanilla, but now that flavor wheel's reminding me, which I guess is the point of the wheel.
Yep.
Like syrupy, like almost like maple.
Mm-hmm. Okay. See, now that sweetness is coming through more. I think because I got that initial like coating basically out of the way, but the sweet, the like you said, the mapley, the vanilla, like those typical notes that you would get, sweet notes that you would get, are coming through, which makes me want to keep that 120 proof.
Yeah.
Because I think this might actually be a bourbon.
Really?
Yeah. Now that that much sweetness is coming through, I think the pepper and the heat that we're getting is purely from the proof.
So, okay, so you think it's bourbon. I mean, I'm going to have to go rye, but I can't figure out whether it does taste, the taste is really familiar. I don't even drink that much whiskey. So there's a chance that this is like a down the middle, if my guess is close to right, it's like a down the middle rye, which just reminds me of like any rye I've had, maybe. Right? Or it's like a tricky bourbon, or like a, what I would say, like a fancy rye, I guess. He might cut this, but John is sniffing bottles. He's chasing that taste. You're sniffing a bunch of Liberty Pole bottles, which I do have to say, the tasting bottle did say it references Liberty Pole. Maybe we're on the right track. And Liberty Pole is like my favorite whiskey, like local whiskey. So maybe, and I've been there with you, so maybe that's why it tastes familiar to me. I mean, when we went there, they had us taste like, half a dozen stuff. Right? Did you just guess it? If you guessed it, we're not going to find out for like another hour, but...
No.
God. No? Okay.
No. Let me try again. That's tough.
John, I said before, you got to make your guesses. So, shoot your shot. Me, I'm shooting in the dark over here. While you're thinking, for proof, you said, are you still at 120?
I could be persuaded.
That it's what you think?
I could be persuaded on this. Do you want to try a little bit of this?
Sure, what does that mean?
That I think I know what it is, even though I'm probably 1,000% wrong.
And this is, can we say what it is? You gonna make
yeah, I mean, I'm going to stick to my 120 bourbon. Because they reference Liberty Pole, obviously I want to be like, oh, maybe this is a Liberty Pole. So I went over to my shelf, I went over my crate, my Liberty Pole crate, and I only have a couple high proof. I have their cast strength rye from a couple years ago, but it wasn't that. But they did just release the high rye bourbon.
That's the one you have. That's the one you think it is.
That's what's in there.
What you just gave me.
I mean, it's close.
It's sticking around, and that's pretty close. It also explains
and it came out in time.
The tightrope between rye and bourbon that you were talking about.
I think it's that. It might be that.
You make your guess. Make your guess.
It might be that. I mean, I'm going to stick with bourbon, 120 proof. I definitely think that's true. Whether or not it's the LP high rye bourbon.
Yeah.
Maybe, but.
I'm just going to go 110.
Okay.
And I guess your bet is a lot of those attributes are coming from the high proof. Like that's influencing the flavor, etc. I'm going to say that it's flavor forward, but it's closer to a 110. So like a lower proof, I suppose. I guess that's the whiskey. That's called whiskey math, folks. Type. I mean, I'm just gonna go rye, but you can make your guess. Rating. I mean, I'm gonna go
because I'm not obviously 1,000% sure. I'm gonna say downtown because I feel like this is higher proof. So not everybody's up for higher proof.
Yeah.
And if it is the high rye.
Yeah.
Sorry, folks. I'm pretty sure it's sold out. Oh, speaking of the devil. So we're recording on the 23rd.
Yeah.
Right? They sold the last bottle either last night or this morning of the spiced whiskey already.
Oh.
Yeah.
The one that I meant to grab?
Yeah.
And missed it?
Yeah.
I should have. When the day you went, I should have had you grab me another one.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good. It's literally so good.
But so last year they didn't release it till closer to Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And the last bottle didn't sell till around Valentine's Day. They released it right before Halloween, and it's already gone.
Goodness.
He said Kevin and Rob said they had a huge surge, obviously when it first dropped, and then it kind of died down, like sales. And I said, well, I'll bet you any money right around Thanksgiving it'll probably bump up, and then around closer to Christmas, and I think that's exactly what happened.
Dang, you told me to do this like a month ago.
I did.
But
I mean, I still got 3 bottles. Well, no, 2 technically.
Okay. Well,
so
I'm pretty sure one of them is not a gift for me, so I'll just have to invite myself over the course
I mean, I'm bringing it home.
Ooh, okay.
So we're going to be drinking this.
To make the cocktail.
Yeah, we're going to be drinking this Christmas Eve and Christmas, so.
I'm also, for the sample anyway, I'm also going to say downtown because, to what you're saying, if it is of the Liberty Pole stock, or even if it's, some other whiskey, it's a little bit, like, too much, like, too heavy for me. So that would be something I would like to taste, like, sometimes, not, like, have at home.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So we're going to go to 22.
22.
Because there's a little bit of backstory on this one.
I'm feeling 22. What?
There's a little bit of a backstory on this one. All right. So I'm going to read through the story. I'm going to attempt to read through the story. And then I'll get you into the backstory of what this label actually is.
Okay.
Day 22. Zach and John are slowly getting back into the groove, planning out their next episode of Those Dram Yinsers, a Wet Bandit retrospective. John is sleeping. It's a good sleep. Deep. Relaxing. Except for that buzzing. What is that? More buzzing. Oh, wait, he thinks. I know what that is. That's my phone. John rolls over, starts to drift off. Wait, my phone? He reaches for the bedside table, grabs his phone. 3 a.m. Hello? Is this John from Those Dram Yinsers? Yeah, who is... And John gets cut off. Be at the train station tomorrow at 11 a.m. You want to be there. You need to be there. If you want the true story of the Wet Bandits, you will be there. Don't disappoint me. And the line goes dead.
Gasp.
John tried calling back, but immediately goes to an out-of-service message. Then call waiting goes off. Zach? Hey, Zach, everything okay? John asked concerned. After the last call and the time, it's getting weird. I just got a package. It's addressed to Those Dram Yinsers and has 2 train tickets and a message that says call John. So I called John. Zach blurts that out altogether, rapidly, with excited nervousness. John lets out a long breath. I just got a call. We need to be at the train station for 11 a.m. It's about the Wet Bandits. I think we should go. So the spoof movie on this, and I have not seen this movie, but I really I'm gonna watch it in the next couple days.
Okay.
Trains, Planes, and Automobiles with...
Not to correct you, I think it's Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Thank you. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
But
thank
yes.
you. Yes, thank you. What'd I say?
You just said trains, planes.
What? Yeah, okay.
I love a train plane. Anyway.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles with Steve Martin and John Candy.
Sir John Candy, yeah.
So this is number 20. This is day 22.
Okay.
So there's a big old, inside joke if you listen to the show on this.
Okay.
The very first calendar we ever did years ago.
Oh, no.
Day 22 was Ardbeg 10.
Okay.
Now, we didn't know this, right? It was blind, right? Ardbeg is a heavy peated, right? Rob, Zach's brother, was on this show that day. Him and I loved it. Zach was gagging.
This is the one he hated.
Hated.
Okay. I do remember that.
Was shoving pretzels in his mouth, sucking water out of the faucet in his kitchen. hated this.
I didn't
right?
remember the name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's Ardbeg 10. So, and Aaron did a bang up freaking job of photoshopping these. Zach is Steve Martin. I am John Candy.
Perfect.
And I'm holding a bottle of Ardbeg 10. And it has, instead of like their names, it's like Zach Wallover, John Maelli. And instead of planes, trains, and automobiles, it's Pete, Smoke, and Sharpies. And this is super freaking clear, so I think we're getting hit with a scotch.
And
which
you
would
know
be
what
perfect for this.
Well, you know what the weird thing is that this was intended for you and Zach, and now Zach's not here, and now I am the victim.
And I wasn't telling him.
Innocent
I
victim.
knew this image was coming.
Yeah.
Because Aaron just, he had to show me. So I haven't been telling Zach, which is why I was really trying to get him to do this last one, because I knew he was going to love it. And he just couldn't.
Oh, boy.
Hence why Matt is here again.
Hey, guys, I'm gonna
Oh, God. Oh, God, I can smell it.
I'm gonna die.
Yes!
John, I'm gonna die.
Yes!
I don't even record.
Can you smell it already?
Oh, boy.
I'm dancing for those that can't, obviously aren't here.
I think depending on how bad this seems like it's gonna be, Zach might owe me a drink after.
I'll have to get Lisa down here and try this after her, like, newfound love of scotch.
You found love of scotch. I remember. Fuck.
All right, what's your nose?
We can't. What's on my nose?
Yeah, what's your nose?
What's on
Notes.
my nose? Can I tell you what it reminds me of
Go.
most immediately?
Go.
I told you this story before, but I don't think it was last time I was here, which would have been, I guess, when we were recording. But when we cleaned out Pap John's, our granddad's liquor cabinet that he never touched because he didn't really drink, and there was an ancient bottle of scotch in there, and I was stupid, and I was just like, I'll take a drink of it, and then I took a drink of it.
I don't remember that. That was before I was really into whiskey too, though.
Yes. So this was definitely a couple years ago, and I took like a drink of it, and it was like, probably should not have drank it, but and I do not know what type of scotch it was, but the way I described it, because Dad or Pap John was like, well, how does it taste? And I said, it tasted like, who does Mel Gibson play in that movie? Braveheart? Mm-hmm. It said it tasted like Braveheart came out of the bottle and slapped me in the face. I'm afraid that's what it smells like right now. I'm afraid it's going to taste like that too.
So I get, obviously, Pete, I get that black marker, I get that Band-Aid, right? Like old school Band-Aid.
Black marker, definitely. Under my nose, I wrote Stockholm Syndrome because after the 5th or 6th sniff, I am getting used to it.
That's great.
Okay.
I don't know. I just love it.
You love it?
It's so beautiful. The funny part is, I haven't had Ardbeg 10 since this. Like, since this episode that, like, this joke is coming from. Here, wait. I want you to see the picture. I'm going to pull it up so you can see it.
What the heck?
Yeah, that's Zach and that's me. And what's funny is I have a coat that looks exactly like this.
But it's like, what's weird? Wait. You're gonna have to, this is the thing where you're gonna have to like post this like when you post the episode or whatever.
Well, it's just on their page. This is on their Instagram page. This is where I'm looking at.
So
It's
go
Instagram.
find it, because the Photoshop is pretty good, but it's also like they just changed the faces, but not the hair. So I'm just very confused.
Yeah. Lisa looked at it and she goes, those are real. Like, that's real, right? And I was like, no.
That's what Steve Martin just looks like, John.
Yeah,
No, Lisa.
just with Zach's beard.
Good lord. But the Ardbeg right next to Zach, quote unquote, Zach's head that's pretty good. That's really good. Is this a Trixie one? Do you think this one is Ardbeg? Yardbeg? What's it called?
Ardbeg. I doubt it's that.
You think it's similar?
I think this is definitely some sort of like Islay Scotch. Whether it's Ardbeg or not, I don't know. Specifically Ardbeg 10. Not sure.
Ooh. Oh boy, wait.
This is a classic Islay.
I really like the finish on that one.
Yeah. Good. This is a classic Islay. I don't really even need to add any extra notes to
Classic
this.
Islay.
Yeah.
I should add some notes because I don't really know what classic Islay means. Can you, how about, here you go. Describe a classic Islay for me.
Well, Islay, Islay is primarily always that heavy peat, right, marker. So, like, when you really, like, when that is, like, the prominent tasting note and nosy note, right? That's just leads you to, boom, this is that.
Yeah.
Watch, this is probably like a peated bourbon.
So for taste, I'm putting. Maybe I'm too much of a poet to be doing these tastings. Because for this one, I put stormy and syrupy. It's got
It's a little oily.
Yeah. Finish, just great.
So the
really light.
the marker.
Light. Go ahead.
The marker peat kind of it hits at front, but it kind of dies out for me. But you're right. It has for as heavy as it smells. I feel like it doesn't taste that heavy.
Yeah, it is definitely peaty, but it is on the taste because the nose is so offensive and affronting. On the taste, it's surprisingly it's heavy with the peat, like right on the tongue. And then it just dissipates into this like light, like you're saying, like oily, like syrupy kind of taste. And then a nice little like hug of the, I love it. I love it. Oh no, I love it. Oh no.
So I'm going to ask you first because I'm kind of fighting heartburn right now. So
okay.
So proof is going to be feels a little off because I feel like the hug or the whatever I'm feeling or if it's a heartburn is a little strong for the way everything else tasted.
Okay.
So what do you think proof is? I
think this is when we did that when I did that first tasting with you, I was like my proof. Some of my proof choices were like very high. Like I was guessing hundreds over like what was supposed to be 80s or what was actually 80s. And for this one, I want to say around 90 because I think most of it is taste. Is
That's kind of what I'm going with is 90 too. Yeah. Well, is 90 as
90,
well.
90.
I think this is an Islay.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a house for me.
And it's a house for you. This is surprisingly enough, just because of all the retching noises that you probably
yeah.
We'll
see how long I'll keep some of that. And I'll probably cut a lot of that little bit out.
But honestly, like what I've been tasting this for like 5-10 minutes. In that amount of time, I am basically surprised and impressed by how much I like this. And this is a house for me. Excuse me, a house.
Like you're saying, Haas. There you go.
Do you know how I do it? There's that. This is not sponsored, but there's that pizza place that used to be by your old house called Eddie's Pizza House.
Eddie's Pizza House. Yeah.
And I could always say that right.
Yeah.
But I can't say this right.
Apparently.
What type is it? It's definitely a Scotch.
I think it's a Scotch. Yeah.
If it's not, then like just pure impressed. Then right.
If it's not a Scotch, then it's got to be a peated bourbon.
Beautiful imitation. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What is this one?
All right, so this is 23. It's a spoof on the Polar Express, and it's called the Tater Express. And on the train is a bottle of Bland's, which is hilarious. Day 23. All aboard! Exclaims the loudspeaker on the train station. We're nobody's patsies. We were used. Got nothing. Grumbles Harry. Nothing but caught. Chimes in Marv with a grin. Harry glares at Marv. We will show them all, Marv. The wet bandits are no more. Long live, and Harry winks and nods, encouraging Marv to finish the statement. Marv looks at Harry perplexed. Long live the patsies? The sticky bandits, long live the sticky bandits, shouts Harry, frustration with Marv showing on his face. This train is filled with whiskey, all of it to be turned into its rightful owners. Way I see it, Marv, we are those rightful owners. And, Harry giggles, we have all those podcasters, bloggers, vloggers, and reporters joining us. All so they can tell our story. Oh, because we're coming, because we got 2 tickets on the train. Anyway.
Yeah. I told you this was a connected
I told you. I know it is. I know it is.
All right.
John, me, looks about the train station. He sees a lot of faces he recognizes. There's Lou Bryson, Breaking Bourbon, Thrifty Whiskey, and many more. Zach, look around. Anything you notice? Zach sees Josh and waves. A lot of our fellow whiskey casters are here. Maybe it's a press conference of some kind? Zach shrugs and heads towards the train. We better get on board, see if there's instructions waiting for us.
Can you explain Tater Express to me, the joke?
Tater is a term for people who are only into whiskey for the popularity of it. So, like, they only buy stuff from Buffalo Trace, and they buy multiple of it because it's the hyped whiskey. They only buy the hyped whiskey. They don't actually, like, think for themselves, basically.
And this makes them potatoes.
Makes them taters, yeah.
I was trying to figure out whether I was a tater or not. And it sounds
You're
like,
not.
no, I'm not a tater, no. I buy flavored bird dog.
Because you like it. Not because not because society tells you should like it.
And it's usually on sale. All right.
What's your nose?
Woodsy.
I can see that. I'm getting strong caramel.
Yeah, it's got the color for it. I'll say.
I get a little bit of that oak, like you're saying, that woodsy.
Yeah, I'm definitely not experienced enough to like nail down the woods, what specific wood it is, but definitely.
Well, oak's easy to say because all the barrels are oak.
Oh, that's funny. I'm getting hints of barrel and basement in this one. Interesting. But I am, like you said, I'm also putting down like caramel, vanilla, that kind of sweetie stuff. Did you taste it?
Yeah.
Oh man,
that's hot. That's really hot.
That's rougher than the
21.
Yeah. Well, the 22.
Well, 21 had that.
Oh, the rye.
That pepper. I'm sorry. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I meant the taste on that is rougher than the
how 22 smells.
That I thought was going to be threatening to my life. Yeah. Oh boy, what actual flavors did you get off your taste though?
I'm gonna have to take a couple sips to kind of let that
let it move around.
Yeah.
Oh, I need water. You're right. What the heck? Have they ever snuck in? You've been doing this for a couple years now. Have they ever snuck in like this whiskey made with Tabasco or chili peppers or something?
There is those types of whiskeys, but no.
Usually not. Okay.
And you can tell when those are.
Probably because it's overwhelming.
Dickel makes a Tabasco.
I may be jumping in here. Do you get a long hug on that one?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's spice, it's heat the whole way through.
I took a bigger sip that time, and the hug did like travel down my throat.
Yeah, that really stayed. This, I mean, I thought 21 was going to be high proof. I think this is high proof, like higher.
There's some, again, I'm getting a little bit too fantastical, but there's some, like, I can't remember, the Harry Potter averse. What are we calling that now? The Wizarding World Cinematic Universe. Barf.
Wizarding World of Harry Potter?
The Wizarding World of Harry Potter has a drink, not butterbeer, but it's like the wizard whiskey. The wizard's version of whiskey. It's probably called like Phoenix Water or something like that. If I had to come up with a wizard version of whiskey, I would call it Phoenix Water.
Well,
so
yeah,
we'll see what the real name is when people write in. This is what that tastes like. It's just warmth down the throat. But for taste, what do you got on taste? I just have spice.
I just get the pepper and the heat. Yeah, I went back and tried what I had left of 21. 21's doesn't taste as hot as this one does. So I'm gonna back up. I'm gonna join you with 21 with the 110 proof.
On taste, that warmth, that like steady, like
it's really
spiciness.
Sharp too.
That sharpness too. Do you think that's like cinnamon? I'm gonna say cinnamon.
You can do like big red cinnamon, right? Like the hot cinnamon.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get some more water.
Okay. Cinnamon. What are the cinnamon reds? The little candies.
Tamales.
Yeah. So cinnamon candy versus, which is hot cinnamon. Now I'm talking to myself. That one's rough. It's rough for me. I'm imagining how rough it is for you.
I mean, it's up there. I'm gonna say downtown. I'm gonna say it's a rye. I'm gonna put this one at 120. Really? Yeah. I think this is. It's got to be high proof, and if it's not, it's super young. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because sometimes that younger whiskey really has that like punch.
Let me finish it, and then I'll
do yours.
I'll try and judge the proof again because I wrote down I was going to go low because I thought it was like high flavor again. I was going to say 85 just because last time. Yeah, no? Jumping that up to 105. Like, too much of that. Tears in my eyes. Okay, yeah, I'm scratching out 85. I'm switching to 105.
Yeah, you go.
This is pretty high. I do think it's a rye. It kind of tastes familiar, but maybe that's just the individual flavors. I'm getting, like that high cinnamon, that sharp cinnamon. I do think it's some sort of rye, but what do you think it is? What type?
I said rye as well.
You said rye. I'm going to say rye, but I'm specifically going to say, I know last time I was handing out the finished stuff, right? And this one I'm going to say it's like rye, but like some sort of like, how some of these places have like select like barrels or something like that.
You mean like a single barrel?
Yeah. So I'm going to say it's something like very particular because it does taste pretty layered, even though it is like warmth through and through. And then I did also say downtown because this is a real in moderation one for me.
All right, so 24. We did it, Marv. The train, the whiskey, it's all ours. Harry beamed with gleeful joy. Now what, Harry? I mean, what are we going to do with all this stuff? And it's almost Christmas. Are we going to make all these people miss Christmas with their families and friends? Aren't we going to celebrate Christmas? Marv's eyes glisten as he holds back his emotion. Of course we're going to celebrate. We're going to celebrate with all of this stuff. We're going to celebrate with all of these people. They're going to sing us carols and wish us Merry Christmas or Season's Greeting or whatever it is that people say to one another. And they are going to like it, Harry said with an edge to his voice that Marv knew A voice that Marv knew meant Marv better stay quiet. Alexander felt that something is wrong. There's a disturbance. Someone is being very, very incredibly naughty. This is so cool. I have a naughty sense, laughed Alex, as he steered the sleigh for the direction of the disturbance. Another felt the same disturbance. This other reached for his sack and grabbed the switch from the mantle. It had not felt someone so naughty like this in a long time. It climbed into its sled and let out a howl of hungry glee. The wolves strained at their chains, and they howled back with fury. It let slip the sled brake and took off with a thunderous roar, launching towards that shining beacon of naughtiness.
Sorry, did I pass out for a second? Does Santa have a sleigh of wolves?
No,
somehow?
it's a play on Krampus.
Oh, okay.
That's the picture. Is Krampus.
Okay,
but it's Aaron's face on Krampus. Yeah, I was waiting at the end to say that.
And
Man, I really struggled through that, didn't I?
Yeah, this is number 24.
Yeah, and
24.
Look how freaking clear that is.
That is piss clear.
Very hydrated piss clear. Yeah.
Oh boy. Now, you were maybe saying this earlier. For color, that tells you it's probably a Scotch.
No, that doesn't necessarily mean that. Just when it's not light, when it's light in color, especially this light in color, well, you could go, oh, it's really young, or
sure,
it's typically something that was only aged in a second used barrel.
Oh,
that's why Scotches are usually lighter. That's why Irish whiskeys are usually lighter, because they're aged in used barrels. So when you use a used barrel like that, a lot of the goodies, it's already pulled out from whatever used it before.
Yeah.
So it takes longer to pull more out of it. Right. Typically lighter means that it was aged in a used barrel. Or super, super young, which I don't think this looks like it barely even touched a barrel young. So, which tells me that it's probably non-American. Let's put it that way.
I see. Okay. That's like really fruity.
It's fruity. It's briny, like salty.
Briny. I mean, it could be it's not a cider.
No, it's not a cider. Sorry. No, this is a whiskey advent calendar. It's not a cider.
That's fair.
But it is almost as clear as that cider we had earlier today.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a faint, like smoke on there, but you kind of have to dig for it.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm definitely getting like, not the dark fruits, but the lighter fruits like that we were talking about. So not orange, so not citrusy, but definitely like an apple or like a light pear or something.
It's again super light,
really airy.
Yeah, like there's not a crazy lot going on.
Now, does that mean it could be young?
Possibly.
Also, how young is young? A year? Less?
It's light. I get that nice smokiness. Definitely more smoke on the palate than the nose.
Sure, yeah.
Are you getting any kind of crazy hug? Because I think my heartburn's kicking in now. So it's kind of like fighting me on hug.
I'm not getting a super hug on this one. But also, I mean, this is right after that 23, which I was crushing me. Small to no hug, basically. Not very sticky. It kind of comes and goes pretty easily. With heartburn, that might
Do you think this is a finished like Scotch?
You know what? Depending on how fancy this could, what I would describe as a fancy whiskey, right? So definitely like top shelf weird stuff. This could be. I mean, you want my most specific guess? This is some sort of whiskey that is finished in like a champagne or some sort of like white wine barrel or something. That's what I'm gonna go with.
White wine would be good because that's where you probably get that Christmas like fruity.
That Christmas, those weird, not necessarily citrus fruits. So maybe it's like a little bit of grape.
I could see that. I can't pick region though. Like there's a teeny bit of smoke, which always leads me like towards.
I'm getting it a smoky, woody on the taste, but not as much on the nose. You're right.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's enough to say that it's a Scotch. I'm gonna agree with you that I think this is finished in some sort of like white wine.
You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna go. You know what? I'm
gonna say non-American.
I don't know how many times I'm gonna be on this podcast, but I'm just gonna shoot my shot. I'm gonna say it's some sort of light Scotch that is finished in a champagne or white wine, or that's probably too light for a sherry, right? Sherry's a little bit different, but I think it's finished in something like in that universe. I'm
gonna go 80 proof.
Okay,
and I'm gonna go downtown.
I'm gonna go 80. I'm terrible at the proofs, but I'm gonna say 87, and I'll also say downtown to get even more specific. That's a downtown for me, but that's happily I would have that.
Yeah,
there's some. I mean, I got some real favorites on here. I'll say.
All right, so for 25 for Christmas, right? So it's a play on Christmas Vacation.
course.
So instead of National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation or whatever, it's Humberto Dorda, sorry, Humberto. National Distillers Whiskey Vacation. And I don't have a story because it's not written fully yet. So Aaron, he's just like putting the final touches on it. You will see the post by the time this comes out.
I got you.
So if you want to learn how the story ends, check out Pittsburgh Whiskey Friends at Instagram if you want to see how this ends. But yeah.
Now is that at PGH Whiskey Friends or
at PGH Whiskey Friends? Yeah. Speaking of whiskey, make sure you guys, and they were mentioned in the other one, make sure you check out Thrifty Whiskey on YouTube. They're doing, again, as I said before, they're doing daily shows. Josh and his wife, pairing it with the Aldi cheese advent calendar. So.
And this one is a nice. We're back to a nice.
It's a
classic
nice color,
brown.
yeah.
So we'll see.
It's actually pretty dark. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now is the Photoshop? That's not. What's his name?
That's Umberto.
Oh, that is Umberto. Okay.
Sniff that.
Okay. It's layered on the sniff.
What are you getting?
I think it's complex on the sniff.
I'm getting peat. I'm getting like a smoky.
I'm getting a little bit of peat. I'm getting smoky, and I'm also getting woody.
So with the color that this is,
yeah.
I mean the deep color that this is, this has got to be a peated something or other.
You think so?
Or, no, he doesn't have enough. Never mind. I could see this being Aaron's one infinity bottle.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have that much.
Peaty, woody, smoky on the nose. On the taste, let's see.
I get that oakiness that you were saying.
Definitely peaty.
Wow, there's a lot going on there.
Yeah, right? Layered, right?
This heartburn is driving me nuts because I can't
It's really distracting.
It's very distracting. I can't focus.
Now, it's not very sweet, right?
No, I get some pepper spice on this. This makes me think this is almost like a peated rye. Yeah, I feel like this is a peated rye. Just because of that pepper note, right?
Yeah.
Like you're getting that too. It's not just my indigestion.
Yeah, I mean, you get the peat and you get the kind of a little bit of spice. I mean, yeah, we're only halfway through and that's probably a good guess. This reminds me of that really weird, I'm looking at the bottle, but I can't remember what it's actually called, but it's like I think it's Scotch cask finished.
The kilted.
Yes, the Wiggle Whiskey Kilted Rye.
Which isn't a peated rye, it's their rye finished in Lefroy cask.
Which is?
A Scotch.
Yeah. It could be something tricky like that. I mean
maybe,
I think,
because the peat isn't like overpowering.
Yeah. This is the one for Christmas, you know? So he's probably pulling out all the stops. Like, this is like, number one.
Right,
with the punch.
And one of the admins said, like, oh, I'm excited for you to try Christmas. So, like, I don't know, like, which is why I was like, oh, is this like a weird infinity? Son of a gun, I know what they did.
You know what they did?
I know what they did.
Do you think it's an infinity?
This is an infinity of the entire calendar.
No way.
Yeah.
John.
Yeah. I'm calling it right now.
Well,
this is an infinity of the entire calendar.
Okay. John, now.
Prove me wrong.
I can't do that because I don't know anything about whiskeys. But I will give you, it's a darker color, which if you mixed all the whiskeys would probably make a dark color. And the flavor is incredibly layered, but these are two absolutely disparate pieces of evidence that you are just connecting. John is
I'm going. I'm all. I'm 1,000. No, all in. Push all the chips on this particular thing. This is an infinity of every bottle in the calendar to date.
Okay, he's all in. If he's wrong, then that means he's like connecting.
If I'm wrong, it's a peated rye.
But if you're wrong, this is basically you connecting like the conspiracy thread, on a board.
Oh yeah. What's it from Always Sunny? That one where he's like,
yeah. Pepe Sylvia. Okay.
I want to end the show because I want to start the reveal because I want to be fucking right.
I have to taste it again.
All right, if it's not a peated rye, it's the infinity.
Whew, yeah. Okay, I just got to put layered again because you're getting a lot on that, right? Okay, if you do think it's the infinity thing, do you like it? Like, is it good?
I do like it. It's got a little bit more pepper than I would typically like. So I would say, but again, this heartburn's kicking my butt because I can't like sit with it. You know, it's just kind of heartburn just kind of takes over a little bit. But I do enjoy this. I'm going to put it at 100 proof.
Okay. I'm going to say deep hug because it's kind of, I don't know, maybe it's giving me heartburn. But So I got layered deep hug on the taste. Let me see. You're saying 100 proof. I got to say I'm gonna say closer to 105 just to top you, and it is really like hitting me. And you're saying it's an infinity thing. Now you put it in my head. So now what am I supposed to?
I know I'm having fun, but I mean I have not been right. Well, I shouldn't say that way.
Yeah,
I'm usually not right. I don't want to give I've got nothing right. I've gotten some. Well, anyway.
Yeah.
I don't want to give. This isn't a reveal. Anyway.
It's
probably a peated rye. Let's be honest. I want it to be the infinity.
Yeah.
But it's probably a peated rye.
If I could just make my fancy guess, this is some sort of rye or peated rye that is also finished, or it's a rye finished in Scotch barrels, because it just reminds me so much of the
kilted.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm gonna go with.
Okay. I'm gonna give it a downtown.
I'm also gonna give it a downtown. It's just some of these are, I don't know about you and Zach, but a lot of these are really heavy for me.
Me and him line up pretty well, except for a few crazy ones. But
hey, that was an interesting 5.
That was all over the place,
wasn't it? Interesting final 5. Yeah.
This is it for the reviews, right? This is the final review. Mm-hmm. Well, since Zach isn't here, I guess all I need to say is, Matt, thanks and cheers to you.
Hey, John, thanks. And cheers to you, and happy holidays.
Happy holidays, everyone. And cheers to you.
Cheers to Yins. Right, got it in one. Right on cue. Professional. I'm changing my resume to professional podcast.